Hi there everybody, it is early December and I'm getting out here, finally getting around to doing the porch planters and converting them over for the holidays and just lovely winter interests. So holidays and beyond, they'll probably be out here until at least March with this arrangement. So I want to show you my approach, some of the tips and hints that I use to do this pretty quickly, and my focus is really on making it easy, repeatable, and having fun with it. I love doing this because it still gives me a way to garden and to design and play with beautiful natural elements to really make our home beautiful even in the non-warm months, and something to just enjoy throughout the season and not just leave things bare. It's super fun to do the design, so I want to show you how I'm doing that. Here is one of the planter boxes. You can see we have dead materials here from the summer, and I've decided to leave them in. Over the years, gradually, I've kept things like this is my mandevilla flowers that I had in there. These are Cressandra that I really, really love. And then this is mezzovine and purple sweet potato vine as well. And I honestly think it looks cool. I think it looks cool to leave the tired dead materials in here because it adds texture, it adds interest. Bringing in the evergreen interest here, you can see it kind of rounds it out, adds some interesting elements mixed in with the different needles and the branches. It makes it more fun. Out to our pasture on the woods, and I just chopped off some branches from some of our evergreen trees, especially one that we know we're going to chop down eventually, so I don't feel bad about removing branches at this point. And I actually like the dead parts. You might think I'm weird, but I think it's kind of cool to have both colors going on, so I'm embracing it and going for a very rustic evergreen look. We've also got some other accents here like birch branches. I've got some gold dusted hydrangeas that I harvested and painted this fall. And then these beautiful fake elements that I think are so pretty with the pine cones. Got these on clearance a few years ago from a local nursery. And they're just beautiful, and they add some sparkle, and they reflect really well at night when we have the Christmas lights on. Really pretty. Let's start with our step planter here that we have right on the front step. So I was able to rustle up the soil enough to get 3 relatively thick birch branches in here. And I think it looks really cool. And these aren't going to go anywhere. They're nice and sturdy, which is lovely. And I've got a nice deep pot here. It goes pretty far down. So then once I set it with water, it will definitely not move. It'll be perfect all winter long, withstanding any wind and storms and snow, and just really durable while also being gorgeous. All right, I've got all my branches here ready to rock and roll. And I grabbed a mixture of big tall ones and also medium and small ones, so I have some variety and depth when I'm putting this together. So I'm going to start by looking at my arrangement. I've got the tall interest in the center, and then I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tall ones probably across from each other using a symmetrical pattern just for placement in order to create balance in the design. And I really love how this one went in so firmly. I was able to get it really way down in there, so I know it's not going to go anywhere. It just feels really secure. And I've placed this one right across. And in order to make sure they don't look like they're flopping apart, I'm going to intermingle some of the branches with the birch branches here so that they look like they were naturally growing together in a harmonious way. So gently pulling them through. Ooh, I really like how that looks. Gorgeous. Take a look at that. So that's a nice first start, just to get some foliage around the base middle. Now I'm moving on to my more medium branches, which are still tall, but they're not as wide. And I think I'm going to place these on the other ends. So kind of think about it as a square. I'm going to put them in this spot where the other branches are not. And I'm adding the other one over here. Okay, so now it's starting to come together. I really love how the branches are spilling out, and I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's a really flowy, organic kind of shape that's happening here. And there's enough variety where the branches are going this way, this way, to make it have some nice dimension all the way around. But it is not a symmetrical design. It's not formal, it's not perfect. And I'm already excuse me, I'm already really loving it. Now what I'm craving is taking my small branches I've got here, and I want to put kind of like a little bit of a spiller piece here, right in this spot, to fill in this area. Ooh, isn't that cute? Yeah, that's perfect. That's what that area needed. Just to round it out, give it a little more fullness there. And now I'm just kind of speculating, like, are there any other spots I really want to give it fullness? This is the angle you're at if you're at the front door, so you're looking out into the front yard. So I want to make sure this also looks good. We've got multiple angles here, so I'm going to put this small one here. Okay, yeah, that looks better. And what to do with this one? Again, just trying to figure out the best placement. I could put it in the front here, or I could fill it more in. Where am I going to enjoy it the most? Probably in the front. Make the most of these branches. So thinking right here, push that in real good, and then kind of fluff around the other branches near it. Oh my goodness, isn't that cute? So cute. I am very happy with this. It just feels very organic and effortless, while also having a lot of impact because it's tall, it's voluminous. And then if we look from the front of the house, like say you're walking up on the porch or you're looking at the front of the house, it still looks really nice and full. Later to add a little bit of spice, but I want to get a move on to the railing boxes next. These railing planter boxes are really cool. They actually are just this plastic that sits on top of the railing. And I'm really glad that we bought them. I think we got them at Home Depot 4 years ago. And they've been terrific. They're just really versatile. And I really love that they have a direct view out our bay window in our living room. So we get to look at them, enjoy them all season long. And I want to make sure that, because the sight lines, they look good straight on. If you're looking at the front of the house, they look good from the side here if you're walking up the porch, or they look good when you're looking out the window. So we've got a full, all the way around 3D sightline on these. So we want to make sure that they're really dimensional, which is also really fun from a design challenge standpoint. So I want to show you what I've done with the design, kind of the footprint here. So I already had this foliage from the summer plant in here, just left that. And then what I did is I took a really large branch, so this branch that kind of splays out tall, and I stuck it right in the middle of the planter box. And then I added a bushier, this is from the same tree, but it's a more bushy take. And I added that, staggered it off to the front a little bit more and center. And then off to the right center of this middle huge one, I put in a smaller, more sparse, I don't know what you want to call this. This is a more flowy, large, long, sparse branch. I put another small accent branch in front here then, and then one accent over in the back. So that way in the design, we've got center, 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 3 in the center, 1 staggered in the back, and then 1 across from it staggered in the front. And that way we are achieving a really balanced design with the foliage. We don't have to fill the entire thing in with evergreen, and then this leaves space to put in fun accents like those birch branches or other things like bulbs. So we'll get to that in a moment. It's a repeatable design. So you can see I've done the same approach here. So suddenly I have consistency, and I've got to do this one. So I'll show you how I do that. And I love having it be as big as possible in the center one, just to give it a little oomph, like va-va-voom. And this is the one we can see the most from all the angles too. I've got all the greens in now on this first box, and I'm just kind of assessing all 3 of them holistically to say, are they all relating? Is it all looking cohesive in the design? I would say yeah. I also want to point out is that with this spiller here of these spent vines, I did want to make sure that there was an anchor point here because it kind of draws your eye towards that part of the front of the box. So I made sure to put that front sprig of evergreens that's off to the side coming from that same center point. So you can see that here, you can see that here, and you can see that right here. Could I fill up the planters more? Certainly, but evergreens are expensive, or it's a natural resource that is not easy to replenish. Takes years and years to grow a tree like this. So I am happy with it being kind of sparse and knowing we're going to put in focal point interest, and that is just fine. It's good enough. Good enough is perfect in my book here because I think they are beautiful. I'm brainstorming right now. I don't have the plan completely baked. Let's do it together. I am thinking this year I would like to play with more birch in these boxes because I've only typically done them in the big planters, but I am willing to break some down. Broke it in half. Well, that went better than I thought it would. Check this out. Woohoo! So I just stuck the 2 in there, and I decided again to look where the vines are going up as kind of a visual focal point, where that intersects with the height in the middle. And I thought, why not stagger 2? So that will become the focal point area of the arrangement right there. So that way we know where to put our other accents and kind of spill out from that point. But I really like the birch branches in there. I think they look really great. Last one was giving me some trouble. I couldn't quite get the placement of the two logs great, and then I finally on my third try got it, and I figured out it was because I didn't have this branch completely lined up with this focal point. It was kind of over, and now it works great. Now we decide what we're gonna put in for filler, focal point filler. So I've got this cool piece. For the ones I've already shaped, like this one has a really nice shape. I can tell I took the tags off. It's all ready to go. Okay, here's what I've come up with so far. I had to play with these pieces a little bit to get them where I wanted them to be. I decided it would be best to put this spritz so that it can kind of spread out the foliage right to the right of that center branch. So it's nestled in the middle. And then on the other side of the branch, kind of asymmetrically across, I put the pine cone branch. And I think it really turned out nice. The same thing here on the other side. Then if we're looking out the window, you can see the pine cones then have a nice little trailing effect. They create a centerpiece focal point right here. Pine cone branch, and this goes on the other side of that center branch here. So I'm just gonna test my placement and take a look. Yeah, that'll look really nice right there, following the pattern of the other boxes. Push it in. And now I'm gonna look at the placement of the pine cones. They are on wire, so you could just twist them to kind of get them in place. So they're kind of pointing up like they grew here. I'm wanting this to relate to the birch a little bit more. Make sure it doesn't get lost in the evergreen branches. I want it to look like it grew here. And I kind of like how that middle branch has got this big swoosh out, and the pine cones are kind of as if they grew on it a little bit. Because this center branch is so droopy, I think I do need a little bit more filler in the middle. Not a big deal, but I think it's gonna bug me. It's one of those things only I'm gonna see it. No one else will notice but me. That's enough for me to wanna do something about it. So I'm just shoving a little more filler in there. Oh yeah, much better. Oh, look at that. So if you just tuck that evergreen branch behind the pine cone, isn't that cute? Haha. This beautiful star that I love to put in planters because it is such an impactful focal point, really. And so this piece, ooh, it's coming together. I added in the same elements, so those sparkle spritzes and then the pine cone branch to this as well. So it's really bringing your eye up, acting as if it grows with the birch branches so beautifully. And then I want to put this somewhere, probably right in the center. How I do that is I literally just take a piece of wire, like you see here, and I just twist it really long on the bottom of the element. It's loose, and that way I can just stick it like a pick into the soil, just so it's anchored and it won't go anywhere. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then once we water the pots, it will freeze. All right, there we are. Isn't it gorgeous? Taking these plastic bulbs and I'm actually putting it right at the middle of the focal point. And again, pushing that wire into the soil so it will freeze. And I'm rearranging my little hydrangea next to it. Oh, isn't it cute? Now watch this. 2, 3. They all match. Isn't that fun? Aren't they cute? Ah, I love it. And I love orange. So yes, I have orange ornaments. Why be traditional if you are offbeat and you like orange? So the planters are all done here on the porch. Added in these bulbs so that they're sitting together and they've got a nice mix. So I have some cool finishes, I should say. So we got shiny, glitter, and then if we come around the back, matte. And they play so well with the orange. And I love these silver ones too. They're just really fun. The step planter, I decided to add a couple bulbs here. And the last touch that I'm going to put on the front porch are these cool gathering groupings, I don't even know what to call them, of ornaments. Tie together twine, and I just hang them up on our hanging basket hooks.